Hello and welcome to The Update. I'm Michelle Stevenson. The PM says he has no plans to travel to the Middle East, with his position supported by Australia's security agencies. Both the US and UK leaders have visited Tel Aviv in the past few days, pledging their support for the Jewish state in its battle against Hamas. But Anthony Albanese says now is not the right time to head there.
The decision of the Leader of the Opposition to raise such an issue publicly, that's a matter for him. At this point in time, I have no plans to visit the Middle East.
US President Joe Biden, meantime, has declared it's vital for America's national security for Israel and Ukraine to succeed in their wars. He's made a rare primetime national address to appeal directly to Americans to stand with both countries while working to convince them to spend billions more on support.
We cannot and will not let terrorists like Hamas and tyrants like Putin win. I refuse to let that happen. In moments like these, we have to remember who we are. We are the United States of America, and there is nothing beyond our capacity.
China will be allowed to keep operating the port of Darwin after a review found that the country's 99-year lease does not pose a security risk. The lease was signed off by the Northern Territory government in 2015, bypassing federal authorities, but it was found there are enough checks and balances in place for the arrangement to continue. Now, the Corruption and Crime Commission in WA will investigate a death in custody of a young Indigenous boy in response to a serious misconduct allegation. The 16-year-old was found unresponsive in his cell, given CPR and taken to hospital where he later died. A mandatory coronial inquest will also be held into the tragedy. Queensland taxpayers will foot the bill for public servants struggling to cope with the fallout from the Voice referendum. The state government has taken the extraordinary move, offering 5 days of paid leave for workers impacted by the ballot outcome. And winemakers are pushing back against calls for more warning labels to be placed on their products, arguing it would be too costly for the industry. National health bodies are urging alcohol producers to warn consumers of alcohol-related harms like cancer and liver damage. Sport and entertainment are next. To sport, and Alex de Minaur and Aya Tomljanovic will headline Australia's squad for tennis's United Cup in the lead-up to the Australian Open. And Daniel Ricciardo will be back in a Formula One car in Austin after a frustrating injury spell on the sidelines. In your entertainment news, now Pink has been forced to cancel more of her shows while also revealing what was actually behind her family medical emergency. The singer pulling the pin on tour dates in Vancouver now. That's 4 dates she scrapped all up after coming down with a respiratory infection. Well, Kim Kardashian has turned up to a Californian courthouse after being called up as a potential juror. The 42-year-old law graduate was excused from serving, though, after showing up with a bodyguard. And it seems Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are taking their romance internationally. The star NFL player apparently planning to visit his rumoured new girlfriend on one of her era's tour stops. And that's the latest from the Nova Podcast News team. We'll have another episode of The Update for you tomorrow. I'm Michelle Stevenson.